number one, God hates divorce. Now play, but now play would they use nowhere truth day.
Exactly. The lady mentioned character. Do you understand? You can grow money, but you cannot grow character.
But it's just so sad that unsuspecting people eventually end up with bad people as well. Because they are downgrading. Say, I beg, take their dignity and give them money. Waiting their dignity don't do for them.
So you guys, today we'll be talking about divorce, marriages. As a Christian young single woman, what are your expectations towards marriage? We see so many stories, situations of people that have been married, they get divorced, they get married today, they get divorced tomorrow. We heard of this, we've been hearing of this trending Yul Edochie. I mean, we will not hear the last of it. He's from a very Christian background. Even his wife is also a Christian. I was even expecting so much from that guy, but the guy just anyway, we'll be talking about all of those things today. So if you're interested in this kind of conversation, come closer. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Faith Ogechi. If you are seeing my face for the first time, hi, do want to click on the red subscribe button, like this video and comment. We have something very interesting to talk about today. Today I brought my friend. A lot of you know Shatange Dorothy or pharmatalk with Dorono. Yes, this is our third friend. If you remember the last video I did of our 13 years birthday, friendship anniversary. Yes. Yeah. You remember we talked about one Ngozi Avaja. Yes,
that is like the word.
This is Ngozi Avaja. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi guys, it's so good to have myself here.
Yes.
So my name is Ngozi, just like she said. I used to be a vet doctor, but now I'm a product manager.
What do you mean you used to be? Would you go back to veterinary medicine?
I used to be.
Anyway, it's good to have you here.
Thank you
for coming. So, Ngozi, what do you think? Do you think Christians, as a child of God, do you think you should get divorced? Like, at what point do you think you should get divorced?
Okay. Right. So, just like you said, as a child of God, right? So, the first thing that I would rather make clear is that, number one, God hates divorce. So that's the baseline of the whole gist. However, because of that, people have capitalized on that and then they have bastardized the intent of that scripture. Right? Now, God hates divorce because it was his intention. He created man, he created woman, and then he asks us to go to the world and multiply, right? So the baseline is that God hates divorce. However, in the case of narcissistic behaviors like abuse, domestic abuse, even emotional abuse that is now leading to domestic and physical abuse, right? At that instance, I just feel like you should leave. And this is because, apart from the fact that marriage is God's will for you, beyond that, you also have a destiny to fulfill.
Exactly.
So, if your marriage should not deter you from fulfilling your destiny. In fact, whoever you marry, you guys should be in synergy towards fulfilling, your respective destinies. You are helpmates to yourselves and not the other way around. So in the case of physical abuse, right, a man is beating you or your wife is beating you or something like that, I don't recommend for you to stay, because one day he will beat you and you will die, and that will be the end of your destiny. Secondly, emotional abuse, right? Emotional abuse is really the hardest to explain to people, right? To express, because how do you even want to explain it? That your husband, I keep saying husband because I'm female, so I'm speaking from the feminine point of view, and also from stories that I've heard from friends and other women, acquaintances tell me, right? So how do you say that, oh, my husband is narcissistic, right? It's it's a lot to explain, right? People will not understand, especially when you explain to your parents. And our parents' era, that narcissism was a part of their marriage, right? And then it's normal. They were beginning to see it as a new normal, so it's not a big deal to them. But however, that does not mean it's right. How do you explain to people that your husband is passive aggressive? People have become so used to that narcissism, right? That they might not even understand that they are being abused. So me, I feel personally, because emotional abuse will eventually make you a shadow of yourself, right? There are times that you might not even be able to, because of that, you would second guess yourself. You might not be able to reach the peak of what God has intended for you to reach. So you have to be sensitive, right? Once you see that, I don't know, some people can't take it. Me, I'm a very sensitive person. I can't take emotional abuse, talk less of physical abuse. So at that point, I feel like you should leave. For the emotional abuse part, right, you can still talk it out and go to therapy and see how things may work
emotional
out.
Abuse, right?
Yes, but for physical abuse,
I think that's where we draw the line. That physical abuse, because sometimes mistake could even happen. Because I've heard of situations whereby they were just exchanging blows, and before you knew it, she already hit her head, and that was the end. Do you get? Yeah. But I feel like when getting into marriage, the first thing, because I feel like a lot of us, we are so materialistic. First thing anybody should look out for in anybody, whether a man or a woman, is someone that fears God, that has the Holy Spirit. Because I think it starts from there. It starts from there, because you get to a point in marriage. I've heard of I listen to messages a lot, and I feel like people do not prepare for marriages enough.
True.
Do you get? They feel like, oh, you know those butterflies that fills their belly at the beginning stage of the relationship. I can understand that. But beyond that, you have to go listen to how many messages have you listened to, how many people have you talked to, how many books have you read, how much are you prepared. It's not about this, because there are days you wake up and then you don't even feel love for this person. Now it is even the Holy Spirit that you have within you that will help you. The Bible says the Holy Spirit will teach you all things, everything. The Holy Spirit teaches you. So it is very important that you get married to someone that has the Spirit of God. You understand? I think it starts from there, because you get to a point, because if you look at our parents' marriages, I'm not saying that their marriages are perfect, or we are adults. We know of situations where we've seen when it is very difficult, but the fact that, but it's not as if our parents were being abusive. Do you understand? If you get to that point, even me, I will tell my mom, okay, leave, or my dad to leave. But do you understand? But we've seen how they worked hard. I think this conversation should be about young people having to see that marriages actually work. It is not exactly. It is not like commitment. It's not like it is something so easy, because people feel like, okay, we get married and that is it. No, you have to see it as a responsibility.
Because sorry to cut you short, because I keep telling. There was someone that I was having a conversation with. Was it earlier this week? And then it was like, oh, he wants to get into a relationship and all of that. And he was like, oh, he's a busy person. And then he was like, oh, also, because I know this person is my friend. And I was like, I know that he's not the kind of person that is vulnerable, right? He's not emotionally available. And he was like, oh, I want to love. I said, wow, you want to love? Are you even capable of that? That was the first question I asked. Like, are you capable of loving somebody else? Because love is beyond, oh, I feel for you. You are beautiful and you are intelligent, and no. Because love is very deep, right? Love is very deep. And anytime people ask me that what is love, I simulate it to what, the sacrifice that Jesus made for us for salvation. You see, love is beyond vibing. Love is beyond feeling each other. Love is when you have seen all parts of that person. You've seen the person angry. You've seen the person hungry. You've seen the person broke. You've seen the person depressed or sad or something like that. And then you're still willing to stay. Right? Because some people really fall in love when everything is really rosy and everything is going on well. Now, I'll tell you something. Back in 2020, there was I don't know. There was this thing that was happening, crypto and all of that.
Yeah.
Everywhere was, was it crypto or this thing that they were doing then? What they call it? Forex was booming and all of that, and then there was a lot of money in circulation. And because people were happy and people thought that the next thing to do was, there's money now. People thought that the only thing that is stopping me from getting married right now is because I'm broke. So they went ahead to buy car, furnish house, buy house, build house, and next thing just look for one babe like that they are vibing and they're happy and got married. But the money went eventually. Forex crashed, and those marriages, at least the ones I know, I can tell you that those marriages are in trouble. And that's because they didn't go through the journey, right? They were just too. I'm not saying that you can't be happy, right? But life is full of ups and downs, and that's why when two people are being joined at the altar, they will not just say in happiness, and they will also tell you that in sickness and in health, whether there is money or there is no money, right? So that's what love means. It's seeing all the shades of somebody, right? Or seeing all of somebody and refusing to jump ship, yet respecting the person, not necessarily seeing the person finish, right? But still loving the person all the same. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of commitment to get to that place. And that's why, when I address God, apart from the fact that I call him Father, I also call him Jehovah El Roi, the God that sees all of me and still loves me. That's what love means. And because we are humans, and understand that we have limitations, but we must do above the barest minimum, and that's what I don't see in this generation, Sha.
A lot of people just want to take, and marriage is about giving. It's what you can give, not even what you can receive.
You have to be a giver.
Exactly, that is exactly what it is. Talking about you interviewed someone, and said she was saying that a lot of young people, when you ask them, okay, what do you want? The first thing they will say, the man, does he have money? Do you understand? And then the lady was beyond money. What else? Because sometimes this money will go, just like you mentioned, it will go. What else would keep you in that marriage? So the lady mentioned character. Do you understand? You can grow money, but you cannot grow character. A wicked man cannot change overnight. If that is
love someone without character. Like the moment I see that you lack character, you lack integrity, if you have plane jets that is flying everywhere, we can't.
Do you understand? It's way beyond material. So when choosing a spouse, I feel like leave the money aside. That's why it's also very important as a woman. You should have to, because a lot of women are so desperate. That's why they run into wicked men, arrogant men,
puffed up men.
Exactly, because you are so hungry, and you you can't even pick the right thing, because you are also looking for where to leech, who to leech on.
Do you understand?
I
think bad people eventually get bad people, but it's just so sad that unsuspecting people eventually end up with bad people as well, because people are just in the world to take advantage and to manipulate people, right? So as a woman, I usually tell people that, first of all, I think it's really cliche, right? When people say, make your own money as a woman, do this one, work as a woman. It's cliche, but it's the truth. See, if you have a job, I'm not even saying make millions or anything. If you have a job that is sustaining you, or you have a career or something that, you have something going on for yourself, see, you would have the clarity to see beyond what a man has, to actually see who he is. Because if you are hungry, all your focus will be on satisfying your hunger, not actually in that relationship, or in what that thing might actually eventually turn out to be. But it will just be on, what can I get from this person? What can I get from this person? Whereas ignoring all the red flags, because your particular point
just like a man should slap you now, and then he goes out to buy you flowers, and because you're a hungry girl, you see the flowers and then you say, sorry baby, I won't do it again.
Or he sends you 1 million. I saw some
flowers is even too small. He sends you 1 million.
I saw something on it was a meme on social media, and then they were like, will you date somebody that slaps you every Friday but sends you 8 million as upkeep?
Hey God.
na play, but na play would they use nowhere truth day.
Exactly.
People were just saying, "Shebi is every Friday, no problem. Which kind of work I want to do? Go even give me 8 million."
It is.
Those people are not joking, no. Faith, they are serious. I'm serious. If that kind of situation existed, those girls would be beating every Friday, but make their 8 million complete.
Are you joking? Was it not when we are hearing of the situation of those girls in Lekki that they were sleeping with dogs for money?
No,
and I'm like,
in fact,
why? Why do you have to reduce yourself to that level?
Sad.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Money is not everything. I know people say, okay, money is not everything. How can you be with a man that will slap you every Friday? Number one, it is so downgrading. Like
people don't care. They will tell you, say, oh, they are downgrading. Say, I beg, take their dignity and give them money. Waiting their dignity, don't do for them. Since all these days, I think, well, I don't know. I think Nigeria is a hard place to live in, right? And more things are hard. But beyond that, eventually, see, dignity matters. It matters a lot. And I don't know, I was listening to Pastor Mildred, her husband,
Kenneth Okonkwo.
Yes, Pastor
Kingsley. I said Kenneth.
I was like, that Kenneth did not sound right. Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo some years ago, and then he was like, he simplified it, right? He said that when you want to choose a partner as a Christian, 3 things come into play. You know, as a spiritual being, we have a spiritually that English no match. A spiritual genetic makeup of 3 things: our soul, our spirit, and our body. So he explained how to choose a partner, right? Being conscious of these 3 things that we're made up of, right? And now the spiritual path is okay. When you are choosing a partner, right? Are you people spiritually inclined? Are you on the same spiritual frequency? As a child of God, you have no business to go and date someone that is not
your faith,
a Christian, someone that is not born again, someone that is not saved, because nothing good can come out of it, right? So, and also, even the Bible said that you should not be genetically.
You should not be joined with
unequally, right? So it's not even negotiable.
You know, there's this story people talk about. Okay, he's a good man, he's a kind man. Forget the fact that see, I've seen women. There's this story. I'm sorry, I'm going to put this out here. There's this woman I know that got married to a Muslim man, not married. He got her pregnant. He's a kind man. He didn't really look like a Muslim. Do you get? He didn't really look like a Muslim when he came to get her pregnant. He was a very kind man. You know, even the family was like, okay, he's a nice man, he's a good person. She left and then she moved into the man's house. You know, she got pregnant and the man was taking care. See, 10 years down the line, Ngozi, 10 years down the line, this man just turned.
That's it. Because
I'm shocked. I'm like, where did all this come from?
I'm not shocked because human beings are fickle. As human beings, we are fickle, and because we are fickle, there are some things that, in fact, there are situations that you yourself, you might find yourself and say, oh my God, I can't believe I'm the one doing this. Circumstances will push human beings to do what they never even thought of doing. At that point, when that guy came, it might not even have the intention that he will turn out to be somebody like that. Do you understand? But circumstances can push people to become what they're not. Now, if someone that has the Spirit of God, that Spirit of God will restrain that person from doing certain things. So that's where this comes into play.
That's where this actually comes into play. So let's say she got married to this man and she found out that this man was not saved. He was not a born again. See, it's at that point you just cut yourself off.
Don't even argue.
I'm not saying they are bad people, they are horrible, they are just not in the kingdom.
We're speaking as Christian sisters.
Yes, they're not just in the kingdom because the Holy Spirit, the things the Holy Spirit will help you do. Do you get? It is way different. It's way different.
That's it.
How can you get married to somebody now and then his behavior just turns and then you are saying this thing? He was not a Christian.
That's it.
And that's why he doesn't have the Spirit of God to tell him that, see, this thing you are doing to this woman is very wrong. I watched the Nzes. Do you know the Nzes on YouTube? They are both married. They are both actors. and they just got married. So they talk about marriage and all those struggles, you know.
Yeah.
So I think they were talking about, so there are times that they just got married. I think 1 year or 2 years together, and the lady was like, the man was actually testifying that there are times that this woman will annoy him, and then the Spirit of God will tell him what to do. And like when the Bible says He will teach you, the Bible, she said the Spirit of God will tell him exactly. He said, go and talk to your husband.
Imagine.
Just go and apologize, and she'll be like, no. Why would I go and apologize to him? Said go and apologize. Do you get?
Yeah.
But someone that doesn't have the Spirit of, doesn't have any bearing.
Do you get?
Nobody's telling him what to do. He's just doing what he feels like. Do you think we can? Everybody see. It's only the Spirit of God that actually makes the difference. I can decide to do whatever I want to do. Do you get? But when you have the Spirit of God, He puts you in check. He will put you in check. So when you are getting married to someone that is not a believer, you are setting up yourself. Exactly. You are setting up yourself. So it starts from there.
Yeah.
Do you get? So please continue.
Yes. Just to add to what you said, right? I used to tell somebody that, see, I might not trust you, but I trust the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
And that just makes all the difference. So number one, you shouldn't even think about being unequally yoked with anybody. It won't work out as a Christian girl. If you are doing that,
even as a man,
and also as a Christian guy, like as a believer, don't. So that's for the spiritual part. Now for the what's it called now? For the body, right? That's the phenotypic part of it, right? How we look,
physical,
the physical part of it. And it will be a lie, right? I'll be lying or be very, how would I put it now? I'll be a liar or a hypocrite.
Sorry, short. God's will or your, is it God? No, not God's will. His twin brother.
Okay, Pastor Lawrence.
Lawrence was saying that when he wanted to get married, he told God that he wanted a fine girl.
Yeah.
Seriously, he told God he wanted to marry someone that he can wake up in the morning and look at her face and say no. Like he was very real with the Spirit of God. Like
that's true.
This is what I want.
It's true.
Let's not deceive ourselves. Physical,
it matters.
It actually matters.
It matters. And also people that say, oh, I don't have spec. It's a lie. You have spec, or else you have spec. Deep down in your mind, you know what you want. Me, I'm a short woman. I know that I don't want my children to be short like me, so I cannot go and marry a short man. So short men are not even on my radar. Sorry if you're short man. And you want me?
You just shade short men. Justice for short people.
Justice, but yeah. So it's really, really important as well. But however, it's not really, really, really a non-negotiable. It's not really a must-have, right?
Yes.
It's a could-have, but it's not a must-have. It's not even a should-have, right? But it's also important, right? So that's for the body part of it. Now for the third thing, which is the soul. The soul is like how you and that person, how you resonate, right? Are you on the same frequency as regarding particular things about the issues of life? What do you think about money?
Destiny.
What do you think about destiny? What do you think about family? All of those things matter, because if you have different views, you just be fighting all the time. Yes.
Are you like that conversation is for another video.
All those things matter. So these are things that you should actually look into before you get married. And then I remember Pastor Kingsley saying that if you have 24 hours in a day as a married couple, even if you are firebrand prayer warriors and you pray for 7 hours in a day, which is not even possible, except you actually marathon prayer. But if you pray for 7 hours in a day, it's remaining how many hours?
It's 24 hours, right?
Yeah. So
we have about 17.
Thank you. So it's remaining 17 hours. And okay, let's say,
that's 17 hours.
Yeah, you have sex for 2 hours. If that's at the highest, when you're not the horse, right? So the rest time, what are you doing with it? If you cannot talk to somebody that you get married to, you're not resonating on certain things, the marriage will fail. There's no two ways about it. It will. So these 3 things are what you should take into consideration. And of these 3 things, the best is if you can have 3/3. Right? If you have 3/3, good for you. But 2/3 is also a pass mark. And of this 2/3, right, soul and spirit
are very important. I wanted to also mention, there are some women that will tell, even some men, that okay, when I was very single, I told God I wanted a tall woman, a fair woman that has a figure 8. She had front, she has back, very intelligent. But when I met my wife, she's short, she's dark, like she's not exactly what I wanted, but I saw what I wanted in her.
Yes.
That's why she mentioned that two are very important. The spiritual part and the soul. So it is very important that you focus more on the person's spiritual life than the way the person looks. Sometimes tall, dark and handsome can be full of, I don't want to say the S word.
Yes.
Do you get? So sometimes just why don't you focus exactly? Why don't you just focus more on how kind this man is? Do you get? Some men are very wicked. So not even men. Some women are very wicked. How do they even relate to people around them? It's only you that they are nice to. They're only nice to you. But when
just for a period of time.
Exactly. But have you seen the way he treats his driver?
Yeah.
Have you seen the way he treats people else? Have you seen the way he treats a beggar? You get
the way Yoruba say passion to finoyale.
Exactly. Oh, but why not?
Exactly. You go use some white.
Exactly. Can you say that in English?
Okay, I mean, what's the meaning of passion now? I don't know. Maybe Cain where man we marry. Like I think in this context of a polygamous man, right? So maybe he's beating his wife inside. You where the form saying I mean being all in all, he go use that same Cain come wipe him for neck. So so if you think that this guy is nice to me, I don't know why he's nice to me, and then he behaves badly to his employees, his co-workers, even people in general, the gate man is a bad person.
That's why you see some girls getting married to narcissistic men.
Yeah.
Rich narcissistic men that will slap them, hit them, abuse them emotionally, but will buy them flowers.
Is overrated. I'm serious. So you can be married to a rich man and not have money. Like he will not have anything in your account. Me, I've seen it with my 2 eyes. So someone can be rich and not give you money. So if I don't know, it depends on the person. So that's why you have to be careful.
No, in a situation whereby the man even gives money, in a situation whereby he will slap you, hit your head against the wall, even when you go out, he does not even regard you. You are just a trophy wife. Do you understand?
I don't know why anybody would want to be that though.
Do you get?
In this
just
century,
because of money, it is very important that as women, as a young woman.
Because the funniest thing is, these guys, I mean, so how they worked for their money. You can't do the same, right? I'm not even here to come and start preaching independent women, but I mean, we went to school with boys.
Exactly.
What is the big
I was discussing with somebody and I was telling him that because he was saying that that it's good for a man and a woman as married people, to have their own businesses. It just lays a good foundation for their children. I said it's very important. But do you also know that women also have purpose, destiny, vision? They know what drives them. They have passions too. They have things that they want to do. Do you understand? As a woman, you are not a figurehead. The way God created a man is the way He created you. He put purpose in you. You also have something to fulfill. Did you come to this world to come and chase after somebody's money? Exactly. Do you get? You can work hard. Use your head. Use your hands. Do something, and don't allow. That's why you see all these girls. You imagine, it was very embarrassing that period where they said girls, that those white men were using them for money, that they were experimenting, making them sleep with dogs for money, and I'm like, why? Why will you want to subject yourself to such?
It's laziness, as far as I'm concerned, and also wanting to live above your means, wanting to live above your means, sure.
Something that
contentment is really important.
Very, very important. It's really important. Very important.
And also a good name is better than riches. People have said that take the good name, can't give me riches. But really, a good name is better than riches. I'm serious. Like you don't need it. Because it's always the woman that, let me tell you something, as a woman, and I'm saying this because I'm a woman, we are always the one at the receiving end. Do you get? Like anything that happens, like woman they sleep with dog, it is woman.
It's the woman's fault.
Woman is like, you have to just be careful as a woman, because everything that happens, it will come back to you. We are always the ones that are receiving end. In all of these things, the men, they'll go scot-free, but the women will pay daily for it. So yeah, so just live your life, fulfill God's purpose for you. I don't know, Sha.
So before we deviate from the original conversation, so what we are just trying to say is that as single people, trying to get married, or even married young people, marriage is not a bed of roses. It's not something that you just walk. You have to pray, you have to work. It's just like you are planting a seed. The farmer does not just go and sleep.
No.
Do you understand? He comes back to water, he comes back to weed, he comes back to check to make sure that the plant is growing. You don't just get married and just go and sleep. Do you get? You have to still be on the move. Do you get? You still have to. What am I saying? Am I saying rubbish?
So like, you have to put in the work.
You have to put in the work, basically. You have to put in the work. I don't think that you don't get married with the mindset, because I feel like a lot of young people are having this mindset of getting married to live. I was having a conversation with a guy who is a prospect. He was saying, so I was not telling him that at one point. He said that if I get married to you, maybe even after 20 years, and I'm not feeling you anymore, I divorce you.
Feeling you? What does that one mean? You're not feeling me.
Do you already have how can you get married to someone after 20 years?
And you have
you want to divorce the person? On what ground? Why? Do you get? So people already have the mindset of living even before getting into marriage. I know a lot of young people do not want to get married because they feel like, oh, I can't work hard for it. It's a lot of work. Women have issues. Men have issues. This, that. See, marriages are failing, yes. But a lot of marriages are working. I feel like you should focus your mind and your eyes on the things that are working. Focus your energy on the things that are working. Do you get? Marriage, just like Pastor Paul and Nature, look at the way himself and his wife are blooming. Like, see the way they're just. Do you get? You are not looking at that. You're looking at your Ledoche. You are looking at people that. Do you get? So focus your mind on the ones that are. Marriage is a beautiful thing, and prepare for it. Prepare for it as young women. Like, how many books have you read? How many messages have you listened to? How many seminars have you attended? Do you get? How prepared are you? Just like preparing for just like parenting is like a whole lot of job. But I feel like I'm going to make another video. People do not prepare enough to have children. They just, okay, we got married, we had sex, and then I got pregnant, and then do you get? So you have to prepare for it and get that mindset off your neck, off your head.
I will even say, before you even go into marriage at all, if you have this kind of terrible mindset, it's better to just calm down and work on yourself first. And also just know that I think you should have that at the back of your mind that you don't need to get married to fulfill your destinies. Like, not really. So you have all the time to work on your mindset. Don't go into marriage and then leave and then break somebody's heart and then let people be swearing for you. It doesn't make any sense. Because in most cases, that's where we just be following.
Because nobody is even perfect. The next person you are going to meet. Exactly. That's why we see all these celebrities. They've been divorced like 2-3 times. Do you get? Because
and yet they're not the problem. To them, they're like they will say they're not the problem.
Exactly.
They are the problem. Me, I'm coming out.
I feel like just like me now, for example, if I come out of a relationship, I'll look at myself. Just like you have
the honest retrospective of yourself.
You look at yourself. Okay, what happened? What was my fault? How can I get better for my next relationship? I try to grow my character. Everything. Maybe it was communication, or maybe I was being rude. Just work on yourself and stop looking at that other person. The person don't leave you. The person don't go. How do you get better so that your next relationship you won't suffer the same fate? Marriage is not something that you go in to live. Have the mindset that once you get into marriage, there's a lot of work to do. It's about giving and not always receiving. It's about what can I give to make this thing work. And remember that God is the author of marriage. God actually created marriage. So whenever you get stuck at whatever point you are in, you can always run back to the creator, the person that brought both of you together.
Exactly.
And God is always there to help you at every step of the way. That's why getting married to someone in the same, a Catholic getting married to a Catholic getting married to an MFM member. That one to get your own.
One is another.
That one is another.
Doctrines of men.
Exactly. You get married to a woman that's in her church. She does colored hair. She can pierce her ears. Everything is okay. I can open. But the man is from a church where where as a woman you don't use colored hair. You have to use your natural hair. And these things are very important. And these are the little things that cause issues in marriage. Yeah. These things are very important. Or you get married to a man who has crazy sexual fantasies that he has to be doing the thing for 24 hours. Do you understand? These are the things that people, and again, communication is also very important before you get married. Yeah. These are things that you have to communicate with your partner.
And that thing, I feel like people don't even respect that solemnization of holy matrimony, like those vows that they take before God.
Exactly.
I don't think it's a joke. You come before God to say that, okay, you accept this woman in happiness and in sadness and everything, and then you don't mean it. That's what it means. You don't mean it. Because if you mean it, there are people that something will happen in their marriage and they will not even take time to, they will just walk out. Mm-hmm. So that means you came before God to lie. That's what it means.
Mm-hmm. I just remember this part of the Bible that says, even though you walk through the valleys of the shadow of death, I'll be with you. He's telling you that, see, you're going to have issues along the way, but I will be there to support you. Just like the same thing with marriage. I think I was listening to Funke Felix Adejumo, Mama Funke Felix Adejumo yesterday, and one of her messages, she was saying that every marriage has, I don't know how many storms, that whether you're born again or you're radical or whatever you are, that every marriage goes through those phases. And if you are not a child of God and not a born again like a believer, you are going to get swayed. Do you understand? So you have to prepare for
our own generation. It's a different thing.
Exactly. They are not even
even talking stage self, wahala. The
talking stage is the stage for having sex, going out on dates, when you are supposed to be talking, having meaningful conversations, like those uncomfortable conversations, those things that in your head. Do you understand?
But really oh God, in this generation,
do you understand? And these are the
we don't want to have those hard conversations.
Yes, we don't want to have those conversations, and that's when they get into marriage, the next thing they are shouting, I want to leave, I'm not staying, I can't stay with this man 2 months, 3 months, 1 year down the line. Do you get? They are not
that people that have been dating for years. So my question is now, how come you're just finding out all of these things about this person? What have you people been doing?
It's just like Yvonne.
They just been having sex and been going to restaurants.
This Yvonne Jegede that she did a video with
did you listen to? She said she messages.
Yes, she said she was friends with that man for a very, very long time, and their marriage did not last for 2 years. And I'm like, ridiculous. How?
To be frank,
how did it?
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. Just as a disclaimer, but that's, I don't know. I mean,
it's just like this Bimbo Dukaya would say
that certain conversations were not had, or certain things were overlooked. Yeah, that's just like the two scenarios I can see. Because you are again, we women, and when you see red flags, don't make any excuse for anybody. I'm serious. Leave. Especially before you marry someone, before in that dating phase. Again, dating phase is a test phase for you to be able to know, okay, can I go ahead with this? It's like an interview phase, whereby the employers call you to know if they can give you the job or not. Now you're a prospect for the job. That's why they called you for the interview. But at that point, they want to know at the interview, okay, at this phase, can we go ahead with you, or are you just not a fit for us? So that's what that dating phase, courtship phase, whatever you call it, is for. If you see red flags, wallahi, don't ignore
it. But you know, people usually say, you can't know someone 100%. it's true, you actually cannot know the person you want to get married to 100%, especially when you meet under 1 year, you date, you get married, everything under 1 year.
Yeah.
It's true, but there are some conversations that are very important.
They must have
Some conversations, and you have to be very open. It shouldn't be a relationship whereby you are hiding some things, or you say some things and you're not saying, and you have to be sensitive in the spirit. If you're not a child of God, see, you fall into one chance. Do you get? Because if you're a child of God, the Spirit of God will even tell you when the person is telling you the truth, or he will even tell you to ask him certain questions. So there are some conversations that are very, very important. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Conversations like your spiritual life, those kind of conversations. Sex is also very important. Family, finance, very important conversation.
Very important.
Do you get?
Because especially I won't talk, let me just speak for what I've seen. Men can lie when it comes to finances, because they just want to prove that, I'm strong, don't worry, we'll sort it. You are in debt, and then you are saying that you sort it, you're going to marry somebody's daughter. They will not come and carry you people when you get married. Why? Before I get married to anybody, you will bring papers. So me say I'll bring my own papers, my own financial papers. Let us look at it.
Yes.
I'm serious.
These conversations are very important, and these are things that
these are not things you should take for levity.
Yeah.
I've seen where somebody married into debt, and the guy was lying to her, married into debt of billions of naira, and you do not tell the person you want to marry.
It's just like this guy that I told, this forex guy that did tons of, while he was, hey God, he got married, and now him and his wife, I heard that they've been locking them from one point to another, and I'm like, do you get? These are things that you need to know. You need to have. So there are some conversations. You might not know the person 100%, but there are some conversations that are very important, and you have to open your heart.
You have to open your heart,
and you have to be
those
truthful.
Conversations, you don't be sentimental about it, because you can have somebody certain conversation, and then they want to use blackmail, emotional blackmail. Why will you be asking me that kind of thing? And it's not because that you don't love me.
Exactly, or because of love.
I love you.
You not say,
I can't enter one chance.
Exactly.
My dear, bring paper. Make I bring paper. I go bring my own.
They say when you're choosing a spouse, you're choosing a father for your children. So when you are getting into that kind of situation, you're going to. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it is very important to.
Also, maybe this is a conversation for another day. All these issues that's regarding, okay, you are a new couple, you want to get married, you want to buy property together, and then they will now, maybe your husband's name is Ade, they will now put it as Mr. and Mrs. Ade.
But the Mrs. there already now.
Okay, somebody cannot be Mrs. Ade tomorrow.
It's true, everybody can be Mrs. tomorrow.
I'm not being drama. Hey. I've seen things in this life. I can't do it. I'm sorry, but I can't. Maybe later.
But I feel like
this life is hard, though.
That's why it's very important for you to get married to someone that has the spirit of God, like a kind person.
True.
It is very important. I can't get married to an unkind person. Like, I don't know how rich you want to be, or how I don't know, but if you are not kind, if you do not have the spirit of God, we can't vibe.
Wait, Faith, I'm sorry. Spirit of God, I understand you.
It's not about going to church.
It's not about going to church.
It's not about.
But they are also setting.
It is by your fruits. Do you understand? It's just like, if you have the spirit of God as my friend, I will know. We can. Do you get? For example, now we can. Okay, we are fighting now. Maybe something happened. A child of God say, I will not rest until I tell Ngozi. Okay, even if I don't say sorry. Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's maybe my own way of saying sorry. Do you understand? A child of God, you will know by their fruits. You will know them. It's not even about going to church. Even in the church, you see a lot of evil people in the church.
Me, so I share my own story about
it's not even about going to church. It's by their fruits. The fruits of the spirit. Do you understand? That's the way you can. And as a child of God, you can identify someone who is also in the same kingdom with you.
Yes.
Do you understand? But I feel like young people are so materialistic. So when choosing a spouse, I feel like let's just, you see that money thing, just put it aside, because at the end of the day, there's no money your children are going to chop. You cannot get married to you cannot have a drug father for your children, or a father that is always cursing, or a father that is always angry and arrogant. Do you understand? And so when picking a spouse for yourself. You have to think about your children too. Do you understand? Yes, you might be able to take the beating, the arrogance, you can be able to take it, but what about your children? Those children, when children start growing, they watch their parents actually.
Yes.
They see these things. That's why you hear a lot of children saying, I don't want to get married. Why? Because of the kind of father they had. Do you understand? Because of the way their mother used to be. Or the way
I can't even, there are certain things that I don't even know whether it's right to say on the camera, but as people, even as young people, we've seen things in our parents' marriages that might have damaged us.
Yeah.
So many young people are living with intense amount of trauma. You'll be surprised. These are things that you need to sit back and also work yourself. Be honest with yourself. Walk through it. Walk through it. There are some things that you might have seen. Maybe you grew up in your home whereby your father used to beat your mother, and because of that you hate men. And then at the back of your mind, you have made up your mind that any man, if you try him, before a man says Jack, you go, don't give him 50 of his size. And you're not doing all of those things from, you might not even know, right? You're not even doing it from a bad point of view, but that defensiveness, you've just become very defensive.
That's why
because of what you have passed through. So that might also be something that we should sit back and you have to be conscious of it. Don't lock it out as though.
So before you even get married, you have
those kind of memories that people try to bury. Don't bury it.
Don't bury it.
It's part of you. Work on it. Walk yourself through it and free yourself from all those baggage, so that you can be a better person for your children at least and for your partner.
So I have so many things running through my mind, but I feel like this video is getting too long.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so we've come to the end of today's conversation. I hope you learned one or two things. Thank you so much.
I knew I was going to enjoy this much. I was telling you that I'm very shy. I don't know what to say.
She said a lot. You guys, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. And so you guys drop your comments in the comment section. Let's know what you think. Do you think at what point do you think Christians should divorce? Do you think immediately you get married and you're not seeing what you want, you leave? What are those signs that you look out for in marriage? Is it money or the person's spiritual life? Which one is more important to you? Is it money? Yes, because you're going to have children and it's not spiritual. It's not spiritual things.
I think another thing that we have to put into consideration, apart from money, is especially when it comes to we church people, right? All these things you're saying, this person is your husband. Whether the person is rubbish or the person is nonsense, it's sure your husband. And then out of fear, you understand, when your pastor comes to come and tell you, your papa comes to say like, you and this boy is like he's your husband, and then you just let your mind
okay, like matchmaking in church, that kind of thing.
That's let people into rubbish.
I feel like there's nothing wrong in matchmaking, but where you have to use your senses, you have to. That's why you have to date the person.
Use your sense.
Exactly.
There is no such thing as somebody's your husband.
Exactly.
That is it. It's not
exactly.
true.
You just come, you are my wife. The Spirit of God said you are my wife. That's why God actually allows you to choose.
To choose. You can choose.
And then bring
no
the
one person is your no. Choose from among the family of God, among the flock of Christ. But no one person. They did not say this is your husband from heaven. No such thing.
No such thing.
So don't let anybody blackmail you into this thing. If you're not feeling somebody and then your pastor is saying this is your husband, tell your pastor that I don't like this person.
The Spirit of God is not telling me he's my husband.
He's my husband.
When he tells me, yes.
Don't allow anybody to force anything down your throat, please. I think I have experienced that before, and me, I'm telling out of this thing. Don't allow it. It will not end well.
It will end well. Yeah, so let's know in the comment section what you think about this. Like this video, subscribe, and share to all your single friends, even your married friends. Let's know what they think about this. Do you get? Marriage is a beautiful thing. Don't let anybody deceive you. Don't focus on what's happening on the internet. Don't give up on marriage. And if you are married and you're going to one or two phases, before you leave, weigh all the options, seek counsel, go for therapy if that's what you need.
Do your part.
Do everything you need to do,
so that when you leave, your conscience is clear and I tried my best.
Exactly. And no, we are not saying you should stay in an abusive marriage, a marriage where the man has no respect for you, has no regard for you, or even for your children. So as young people too, you have to open your eyes, even as you are praying and you are trusting God for a good spouse. Your physical eyes are also open. How kind is this man? How good is this man? How does he relate to people? And all those things, you have to look at those things. Don't ignore red flags. Do you understand? They are very important.
Don't make excuses for people. People know exactly what they're doing. Let me tell you, they know exactly what they're doing. So don't say maybe it's because it's a lie. They know what they're doing. So yeah, that's all for my end.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I'll see you guys next week, next time. God bless you.
Merry Christmas.
Today is Boxing Day.
Okay, compliments of the season, guys. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Bye.